My first off-grid camping trip, I thought I was prepared, but I got several things wrong. So if you're thinking of doing your first trip, this video might help you, might save you a bit of money, but most importantly, save you a bit of frustration as well. Hi, I'm Daniel. Welcome to Apango Solves. Want to try things, and if they don't work out, I'll give it a go to try to fix them up. So the first mistake, not checking what others packed for camping. So a bit of background. So we were two families on this trip. One car, well, initially was my family, my kids, and there were two other kids. When we got there, I'll find out that their gear, the sleeping bags, weren't the proper ones. So the temperature on that particular camping trip, that particular weekend drop was around 5 degrees. So nothing major, nothing horrible, but it was cold, like in the night. Luckily, we had extra blankets from our side that we could share into our friends' kits. It was still a cold night for everybody because obviously we didn't have enough blankets, those spare blankets to use because we had to share them, but there weren't enough anyway. So it was a cold night. With 2 nights that we stayed there, the first night was cold. The other thing I can add to this, part of this mistake, is buying on the last minute, because at the last minute I was in a bit of a rush, so I went to camping supply store. I got the first thing that I could grab, the cheapest thing, to be honest. That particular was a sleeping bag. That bag from the store brand ripped on the first night, on the first use. I had a Coleman with me, or a couple of Coleman's sleeping bags, which I have with them 15 years already. No issues, keep going, still going. So next time, one, I'll double check, I'll make sure that everybody's gear is the right gear for the trip. And I'll try to not make any last minute buys, so I have the opportunity to check the products, you know. All right, so that's mistake number 1. So mistake number 2, I underestimated setup time. We started the journey, our camping trip journey, like we had a time set, like leave in the morning, not that early, 10 in the morning. We ended up leaving like midday, so I was 2 hours late already. Then we halfway, or not even halfway, we stopped for lunch because it was lunchtime already, and we didn't have any rush, to be honest. But I didn't take into account that getting there to the camping site, obviously I didn't know it the first time getting to that particular one. Making my way around the area, finding the reception, reception desk, office, stopping, taking the scenic photo, the memories and all that, which is good. But by that time, once we get to our camping site, it was getting late already. It was around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so we had a couple of hours. This was October in Australia, New South Wales, so maybe a couple of hours or 3 hours to set up. And that was our first camping, as I mentioned before, to that particular area, and with the gear and with 2 families, my family and friends' family. So yeah, next time what I'll do and what I'll consider is 1, leaving on time, and 2, adding a couple of extra hours to the trip, to the actual journey, because you never know what's going to happen between here and there. So I allow only for what Google Maps was telling me, how long from my home to the place, and that was it. Maybe an hour or for whatever. Make sure 2 hours and leave on time. Get everybody ready on time. Okay, mistake number 3, I didn't check what was the condition of the camping site beforehand. So, and what I mean is we got there, finally got there, got to our camping site, and we find out that the ground itself wasn't flat, wasn't a flat surface or level surface. So I said, well, okay, so we need to make the best of it, because obviously you don't want to sleep um, uh, with your head, on the lower ground, your feet up. It's no good. So I need to find the best spot or the flattest area. So that took extra time as well, deciding what's the position of the tent. But we managed to do it. I mean, it wasn't that bad, although the first night we started middle of the tent. It's a big tent. Started middle of the tent, my wife, myself. But the mid-morning, early morning, we were right in the corner. We are knees all bent up, which obviously was because of the slope of the ground. So uneven ground. If you have a camper trailer or maybe a rooftop tent, well, that's no issue. You can easily level up your camper trailer or your car. But for setting up a tent on uneven ground or not a flat ground area, yeah, that's a bit of an issue, or could be, depending on how much is that slope on the ground. So next time, what I'll try to do, because I'm not sure if this is going to be possible anyway, I'll look at maps, maybe some maps, Google Maps even, or navigation maps. Some of them gives you elevation contours, so you can look. But I think looking at any reviews, for that particular campsite, if you got a particular campsite, even better. If not, just an overall, description or review of the camping site, which I didn't do. So that was mistake number 3 for me. Mistake number 4 was, well, not knowing what cold weather, I'm talking about 5 degrees at night, middle of the night, what the cold weather can do for sleeping and cooking. So what I mean is, I have a stove and uses butane cartridges, those little cartridges you can get camping stores, or even Bunnings. So those ones, because of the cold weather, they tend to reduce the pressure. So they give little amount of flame coming up from the stove when the temperature drops. I think they can go up to -5, but I guess at that point they don't work at all. But at 5 degrees, there was minimum flame coming up from the stove. The other thing was the sleeping side of things is our friends, they use air mattresses. So our friends, mom and dad got there on the second day, so just ready for one night for them. So they had air mattress. Their kids, which were with us from the first night, had an air mattress as well. We put air in it just before setting up the tent and all that. Okay, I was ready, but when the temperature dropped, obviously the mattress itself, like, because of the difference in pressure, I believe, between cold and warm air. So it just essentially felt like it was air. It had a leak, of air. So it started to drop. Poor kids, they were there struggling with the air mattress. I saw it was just a puncture. I didn't saw like it was the actual cold air. I had the pump that I could use, but I said, well, what's the point? It's gonna be no issue. So no purpose of doing it. It has a leak. It's not working. So for that second night, we pumped the air mattresses, both air mattresses. In the afternoon, once the temperature dropped, we find out that the mattresses have deflated a little bit, and we pumped them back again, and that did the trick. So they stay like that. I guess once the temperature stabilized and you pump them again, that's it. That's sorted out. So I bought self-inflating mats just because beforehand we have done camping trips, but when you have everything, with not off grid, and happened to us. But I didn't know that was because of the actual cold temperature for the air mattresses. And again, before it didn't happen, I didn't know anything about the stove, because of when you use butane, um, that's the result, of using butane in cold temperatures. So for self-inflating mats, or just make sure that you inflate them again once the temperature settles, stabilizes. Inflate them again for the air mattresses. And for the stove for cooking, I bought a 468-gram bottle of propane gas, and an adapter so I can use it with my stove. And the last mistake, not considering the wildlife from that area. So what happened was, first night we got there, set everything. Everything was in a rush, as I said. We needed to eat something, so set up the stove, tables, everything. So yeah, we ate. That was no issue. And obviously all the scraps, all the bit of rubbish, had a bag, plastic bag, everything in it. Put it in the bag. That's fine. But we went to bed. But I left a bit of leftover pasta in a bowl on top of the table, and the plastic bag with all the rubbish, I just left it there hanging, which was no issue. I will throw it later on the next day. Following morning, the bowl was on the ground, bit of leftover food there, rubbish bag with all the rubbish, or part of the rubbish like on the ground as well, or ripped apart. And a few footprints, on one of the storage boxes that we brought, which I thought, well, maybe a fox got hungry, and well, he needed to eat, so he did his thing. So for the second night, so we learned all the leftovers, if there was any leftovers, put it on the fridge or in a storage bag, or and the rubbish, we also put it inside our vehicle, so that way no animal can get to it and make a mess everywhere. So that was another mistake, I didn't consider for the first camping trip. Well, that was my first few learnings from our first off-grid camping trip. So if you're also learning camping and all that, what to do, tips and all that, let me know on the comments. And if you can, I'll appreciate it if you can subscribe as well. I'll try to improve every time, and I'll let you know how we go. All right. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.